Welcome back to TVGP's Critical Misses, Season 6, Episode 4. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpier.
Hello.
And this season, of course, hopefully you've been listening up until this point. We're talking about the select albums from the Nine Inch Nails catalog, because there's approximately 415 of them, so we're only going to listen to 5. The rest of them you can listen on your own time. You can peruse on your own time. So last time we talked about With Teeth. This time we're going to talk about the album that...
I'm sorry, what did we talk about last time?
Oh, With a Teetha? My apologies. I'll use its given name. This time we're going to talk about Year Zero. With Teeth came out in 2005, and I think everyone was like, all right, let's tuck in for a long wait. Whoops, hold on. You're doing what now? So... On the history of Year Zero is really interesting. If you want to, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. We would have to dedicate like an entire season of the show to go through the ARG around Year Zero. But on
okay,
yes, on February 12th, 2007, a T-shirt was released. The Nine Inch Nails performance on Lisbon, Portugal. There were letters that were slightly highlighted on the shirt. They were a little bit brighter white than the others. Put all those together, it says, I am trying to believe. Put a .com at the end of that. That's where the ARG for Year Zero started. This is really interesting, and I didn't know that until today. It was essentially Trent Reznor and Rob Sheridan, Nine Inch Nails' longtime art director, sort of came up with this whole idea after starting some songs on the road in support of With Teeth, and sort of the sound of those songs sort of led them down this concept album direction. And Trent himself paid for the entire ARG to keep it a secret from the record label, because at every point the record label was sort of like, yeah, but we need to market it. Like, we need to tell. It's like, no, you're not. You're sort of not getting the idea here. And it went for about 6 months until the release of the album. New websites were popping up with phone numbers, with voicemails from people that are being affected by the events of Year Zero here. And it sort of ended with when you buy the CD and you put it's a black CD on the actual disc itself. We put it in your CD player and you play it a bunch and you take it back out. It is now a white CD with ones and zeros on it. You sort of decode that code, and then that takes you to sort of the end of the stuff. None of that stuff you need to really appreciate for the album itself, but
what year was this?
2007.
Okay, was this before the I Love Bees ARG?
That was for Halo 2. I think this was after. I actually don't know if that was what year was that?
I think Halo 2 was like 2004.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of years before that. So certainly not, this brand new unprecedented thing. Certainly the scope of it is like, here's 15 different phone numbers and 30 websites, and each one of them are interactive, and we're leaving USB flash drives in bathrooms all across Europe where we're playing shows that are a new song from the album that's coming up that has secret sounds in it that bring you to another. Yeah, it was like every week there was something new to discover that someone around the world was discovering, and it was unprecedented because it's just like a year and a half after the last album where we're all like ready to go into hibernation, and Trent and the team are like, nope, we got another album for you. And coupled with that, it's really from Trent himself, he's saying, this is really the first album I'm trying to make that isn't, I'm going to open my journal and put those to music. I'm really talking about something different. Sort of the extension of With Teeth's sort of anti-authoritarian, I have a problem with the government's behavior right now sort of ideals. Now we're sort of taking that to its logical conclusion here.
Yeah.
And sort of coming out with an album I like quite a bit, but it is definitely. I think that the thing that we have found out from every album we've covered so far is this is kind of the next step. It isn't With Teeth Part 2. It's very much like, all right, we did that. Now here's the next thing.
Yeah.
So, how I was going to say, like, what are your expectations? And I think the answer would probably continue to be, hey, man, I don't know.
100%.
Yeah.
Because, well, number one, it's Nin, so I don't know what the hell I'm going to be dealing with, period.
Mhm.
Like, what phase am I going to get more? Like, the last album was probably my favorite album because it was just, hey, let's just do essentially pop songs, except in my style, and I'm fine with that.
Right.
The fact that it's called Year Zero tickles me a little bit because of the conceptual notion behind it. Which I'm assuming you know what Year Zero is, but for the listeners, Year Zero is essentially let's just destroy everything and start from scratch.
Guess what this album's about?
Is it by any chance about destroying everything and starting from scratch?
It's about humanity destroying the environment in the year 2022, also on the back of a global viral pandemic that is ripping across the planet.
Wait, hold on.
Wait a second.
Yeah. Wait, is Resna Nostradamus? Is this one of those conversations we need to have again?
No, thankfully, this doesn't exist in the real world. But this, the virus that's exploding out of control across the world in Year Zero, makes you essentially all of the blood in your body gush out of your pores all at once. So thankfully, we're not there.
Not in the real world. There's a little thing called mutations. Thank you very much.
Yeah, fingers crossed. We're not.
Charles Xavier would have you know that there's
true.
a thing called mutations.
That's right. Yeah, hopefully we're not there. And also the song "The Presence" describes something that sort of transitions the album from part 1 to part 2. So hopefully that doesn't happen either.
Great. Just great. So. I'm sorry, this is just literally reminded me of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance when Drew Scanlon played it. And it's like, wait, is Kojima Nostradamus is the first thing that popped into my head.
Did he figure it all out?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, because like it's from the name itself, it sounds like it's going to be pretty dark. I'm guessing as such it will also probably be pretty heavy, because most times that goes hand in hand with a few certain exceptions.
Right.
What the style is going to be, I don't know, because, I mean, let's face it, this dude kind of reinvents himself like every 6.5 seconds, it feels like.
Right. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the only constant, is sort of like, I know I will get music, and I know it will be well made. What style it is and whether it will click with me are kind of the big variables. Yeah.
I wish I knew. I don't know.
Well, I think the only thing that you've been introduced to is I sent you a couple weeks ago the teaser trailer for Year Zero with someone driving along the highway and then that loud noise and a giant hand from the sky. So that was like the only video released before Year Zero, and it's like, okay, cool. I guess I'll go for the ride. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, it just makes me think of Cooley with giant hands coming from the sky.
Oh yeah, here we go. We're connecting all of it. It's all connected with Fooly Cooley.
Everything is. There's only one story, and it gets told over and over and over again in wrestling, anime, and video games.
Right, wrestling, anime, and Nine Inch Nails. Here we go.
Yup.
All right. On that note, let's go listen to the album.
Sounds like a plan.
Welcome back. We have listened to the album. We listened to Year Zero here. All, how many tracks are here? 13, 14, 16.
16.
That's
Come on,
okay.
dude.
Well,
Call
let's.
yourself a fan.
Hey, man, I don't even know which Halo number this is. There's a lot of Nine Inch Nails albums, man. there's a lot going on here. Let's get started here with Hyperpower, all in capitals.
With an exclamation mark as well, I believe.
With an exclamation mark, yeah. This is much like Broken. This is the kind of mood-setting instrumental intro track here. That I kind of like this one. There's not. I mean, it's basically just like drums, and that's that's about it. What do you think about this?
Pretty much, yeah.
Are you doing your rating system on this album again?
I am, because
fantastic.
otherwise I am so tired I literally forget what each song is unless I take copious amounts of notes and specifically give it a number.
Okay. Did you rate this intro track?
I did. I rate everything. It's a habit I picked up from you because somebody likes to rate things.
I learned it from watching you.
Exactly.
Yep.
I thought it was interesting. It's a really it's a good slow to like amping up the build. Like it doesn't get like, despite the title, it doesn't get hyperactive at any particular point. Like it's just a good slow, steady rise into the first song.
Yeah.
This one got a good solid 2 out of 5.
Nice. Let's talk about the next song, The Beginning of the End. What'd you think here of track number 2?
I like this one, but number one, I like the rhythm of it. Like he feels like he's nailed the rhythm in this song. My biggest issue with this one is this feels like it's a 10-minute song waiting to happen.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Like it feels like it's building to something. Like it doesn't actually build, but it just feels like it is.
Yeah.
And then in a very Trent Reznor kind of way, it literally just stops.
Yep. One last drum hit, and that echoes out, and then it's over.
Yeah, I literally had to check my thing and be like, wait, no, this feels like a half of a song to me. It's not, because it's like 3 minutes and change long, which means it's it's fine. Technically, it's 2:47, but whatever.
Well, it is funny because it's verse, chorus, done. Like there's no bridges, there's no like repetition of the chorus. It's like this is the thesis statement of the album. We're kind of get in, get out, and we're gonna keep moving on.
Yeah, it was weird because I'm used to. I mean, maybe not so much in the last album, but Trent has got a habit of throwing 10-minute diatribes in there at various places.
Yeah.
And I assumed that this was going to be one of them.
Right.
And then the fact that it just cuts out straight away, I was just like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on, what's going on? Clearly something has broken.
Yeah.
I need to go check it out.
Yeah.
I mean, lyrics-wise, it was very interesting because, I mean, the kind of the title says it all, really. At the beginning of the end, it's like, okay, what is this the end of? Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this one a lot. I feel the same way you do, that some songs greatly overstay their welcome. We're looking at We're in This Together from The Fragile, where it's like, okay, here's another, all right, we're still going, okay. But this one's sort of like,
I like that song.
Yeah, I think it's a great 4-minute song that turns out to be nearly 8 minutes. But this is the opposite problem, where it's like, I'm getting into it. The drum beat is great. Like, this is a really great song. The lyrics are great, and then it just kind of doop, we're done. So needed just a little bit more. What was your rating here for The Beginning of the End?
Another solid 3.
Okay. Let's move into our third song here, Survivalism, which is the lead single off of Year Zero. I'll hit you on this one again at the start.
Well, number one, it feels like it's going more techno again. Like
Yeah.
this is again Trent showing that he can do a lot with the things that he has. Um, I really, really, really like the stilted delivery of the chorus, if that
Yes.
makes sense.
One of my
It's
favorite parts. This like
it's
almost like
so good.
chanting, like I don't this like staccato delivery of that stuff is
Mhm.
also the choruses are real great live because it's just hundreds or thousands of people just screaming this like staccato lyrics all at the same time. It's so good.
Okay, that sounds pretty solid actually.
Yeah.
And like that delivery actually kind of plays into the title and like the kind of the theme of the song being the whole survivalism thing because
Hmm.
I don't know if this is going to make sense the way I'm going to be able to describe this, but my brain isn't working right now, so
You can be excused.
join
Yeah.
you'll have to join me on the ride and hopefully my point gets across.
Okay.
But survivalism feels like a very stop-start kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like your regular life, it just flows.
Hmm.
Good, bad, ups and downs, kind of like a wooden roller coaster ready to break apart at any point. Or is that
Hmm.
just my life that's ready to do that? Whereas survivalism, in general, the concept feels to me like a what do I need this? What do I need that? What do I
Hmm.
need this? It's like you get one thing at a time and you just focus on that thing until you've got enough of it to survive.
Hmm.
And I don't know if it's intentional, but the word survivalism, what that brings to mind to me is that staccato kind of thing. You take one problem, you focus on it, you solve it. Then your next problem, you focus on it and you solve it,
Hmm.
which is a very, as you so use the correct word for it, it's a very staccato lifestyle kind
Right.
of way.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It does feel like there's something about this song. I think because of the delivery on the chorus and how the two halves of the song feel so different. Like during the verses, it's a little bit more relaxed and it's a little bit more singing than the kind of like beat delivery during the verses. And I think how the or during the chorus, how the chorus is delivered, I think almost feels oppressive. Like I think in the way that the when the album when the album's themes are going poorly, it can feel oppressive and can feel really heavy. And I think the back and forth, almost whiplash in the song, I think serves the album's themes really well.
yeah,
I've always liked this track a lot. This was the very first single, and sort of hearing this was like, you know, listening to the verse was sort of like, yeah, all right, this is Nine Inch Nails, and then the delivery and the chorus is like, what? Wait, what? Oh, okay, so you're taking the next step again. All right, here we go.
yeah.
Yeah,
Is Trent the Madonna of industrial music?
just reinventing himself, album after album. Yeah. Yeah, I like this one a lot. I think. Did you get a chance to watch the video for this one?
I didn't, unfortunately,
Okay,
no.
this one has a really interesting surveillance state bent on this album's themes, where it's kind of the Bureau of Morality from the sort of lore around this album is watching everybody in this apartment building, and one of them is the band playing this sort of anti-governmental song here. So
Yeah, well, we'll get there.
yeah.
Definitely
Oh yeah,
get
don't
there.
worry. We got plenty of tracks here to say like double middle fingers at the government. Oh, what was your rating for survivalism?
This was a 4 out of 5.
Nice. Next track here, The Good Soldier. What'd you think about this one?
I really like this one as well, actually.
Yeah.
Like it again. My apologies, my brain is not working, but I enjoy the ebb and the flow. Like it seems to go up and down a lot, which seems to be something that happens a lot in this album. Now that I'm noticing my notes further down the line,
Yeah, ditto.
but there is a very and it's a mixture of things. It's the line delivery can be quiet and then loud on different sections of the song, but then the beat can be soft and gentle to slightly faster in different sections. Like it feels like most of the songs have at least that two different kind of pattern range to it, where one is a slow section, one is a fast or quiet, loud,
Right.
whispered, normal talking, singing, blah blah blah. There's
I
there's a
mean,
lot of
the
different
chorus has a
things.
xylophone in it. Like,
Literally, my next note is that a xylophone? Question mark.
yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
um, yeah. I think this one is. I I I feel like this is one of the songs on the album I kind of always forget until I hear that bass line. I'm like, ooh, yeah. All right, here we go. Yeah. And then like the third line is and the bass goes bomb. Like that the drop there during when he says bomb is just it's really good. And then like you said this kind of almost pendulum swinging back and forth where there's this kind of not aggressive delivery, but there's sort of a more gruff delivery during the verses, and then the chorus is almost a little sweet, like with the
Hmm.
xylophone coming in and kind of matching what he's singing, and kind of there's almost like an optimistic bend to it, and then the pendulum swings back over during the verse. I think that's really this song is really good.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's also got that like break and right. I don't think it's in the middle like my notes say. I think it's towards the end of it where it just stops and brings in the guitar like
yep,
right near like you've still got like maybe a verse left to go, but it brings in that guitar at the end, and it's a really good guitar piece as well.
yeah, yeah.
And
This,
yeah, that's the dark lyrics as well. Shall we like a theme
yeah,
throughout the album is how incredibly dark this album is.
yeah. It is very much a an understandably pessimistic look at the direction of the world from about a decade ago.
Spoiler alert, he was right.
Yeah, whoops. But yeah, I like that track a lot. What was your rating for that one?
This is another 4 out of 5.
Nice, solid. Next track is Vessel. What's I'm very curious to hear what you think of this one.
So number one, this was the song where I realized that I'm starting to get my ear in,
Hmm.
which it means that what I mean when I say that is I'm starting to be able to hear the lyrics without having to dig deep into it. Now, I
Gotcha.
don't know if it's more a case of the lyrics are a little bit better balanced in this album, which I actually feel like one of the later songs, it's like, no, this song is like the vocals are all up front in one of these
Yeah.
songs.
Yep.
Um, Whereas in this one, it definitely felt like I was starting to be able to hear it a little bit easier, starting to be able to process it a little bit.
Hmm.
This feels like older Nine Inch Nails,
Yeah.
like a kind of really more industrial than most of the songs on this album, I would say.
Hmm.
Like definitely more random machine noises. Is this song about drugs?
So yes, and this is one of the songs I think is most interesting from like the concept album portion of this album is it on the surface it sounds like a sex song, like closer on the surface sounds like a sex song, but then if you start thinking about it, then you're like, oh, this is I don't think it's about that. And then if you're kind of up with the what the album is portraying and kind of the ARG behind the album, this is very much the government forcing this drug upon the populace, and then how the euphoria of this drug kind of taking over in this song specifically. So it's
Oh, there's a really good movie about that, funnily enough, too.
yeah, yeah. So it's man, this song the really kind of loud, bassy electronic that like boom, like that noise throughout the entire song is just really good. And the almost frantic kind of escalated delivery for each chorus is great, and the like the like inhaling and like sucking through his teeth during some of the verses is really great. Like the stuff that you would never normally hear in a song because you wouldn't put that in a song. Um,
Mm-hmm. Oh, there is a great example of that in the Disturbed Sound of Silence. I'm just saying that as much as you
God.
hate that song, I
Um,
might be performing blasphemy while bringing that up while talking about Nine
yeah.
Inch Nails.
But I think all of that stuff together makes this song something really interesting. And I think there's something about this song that I think is really really cool. Not just from a concept album standpoint, but there's a lot of really interesting stuff in this song. Um, what was your rating for this one?
It was a 3 out of 5.
Yeah,
Honestly, I was feeling really good after like the Good Soldier and Survivalism. I was like, okay, is this going to be the album where everything's
it's all coming
really up
together.
there?
Yeah. Let's move on to the next track here. Me, I'm Not. One of my personal favorites here on the track. What did you think?
There's a lot I like about this song.
Mm-hmm.
There's some stuff I genuinely don't. I really like the delivery on. I think it's "Hey, Let's Not."
Yeah. Hey, can we stop? Me, I'm Not.
Yes,
During
that's the one.
yeah.
I really like the delivery on that. It was kind of middling. Like I was constantly distracted by that delivery. Like I really enjoyed it,
Mm-hmm.
but it felt like a kind of a similar song to Survivalism.
Sure.
Like because it has a very similar kind of feel to me in my uneducated ears.
Mm-hmm.
And like the delivery on that chorus is really good. It's very interrupty to itself kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where he's singing but then interrupting himself to make a point kind of thing. I thought it was good,
Mm-hmm.
not great.
Right. Yeah. This is one of my favorites, kind of all time. For me, for Nine Inch Nails, the chorus is a large part of that because it's almost like most of the song is kind of whispered almost, while it's kind of there's like part of it is whispered and part of it is sung normally and sometimes at the same time. And I think the way that the verses are echoing and kind of getting chopped up and getting manipulated very heavily, I think is really really interesting. And man, that beat, like
Yes.
that just intros the song with that beat alone. It's like, okay, yeah, here we go. This is this is the good stuff. But yeah, I to me, I feel like this is Trent and company kind of not really flexing, but like moving in a different direction to kind of try something that I think you think is industrial on the surface, but I think it's moving toward in between a bunch of different genres. And I think that to me is really interesting because it's like, well, there's nothing else in the catalog that sounds like Me, I'm Not. Maybe for positives or negatives, but I think I think it's a cool singular thing, and I respect
Yeah.
that. What was your rating for Me, I'm Not?
This was another 3.
Nice. Can't go wrong with 3. Better.
It is, despite the running to scream about how terrible it is, it's not a bad score.
That's right. Next track here, Capital G, which is the second single from the album. What do you think?
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Okay, there's a lot I genuinely. This is my 5 out of 5 on this album.
Great.
Like,
Can't pick a better one.
Let's get that out of the way
Yeah.
right off the bat. This is a fantastic song.
Yeah.
I love the lyrics. I love the meaning behind the lyrics. I love how darkly cynical it is. Again, talking about screw the government. This is the screw the government song.
The line, don't give an S about the temperature in Guatemala. I don't really see what all the fuss is about. It's just like, oof, whew. That's the stuff.
My favorite one is the biggest problem with the way we've been doing things is the more we let you have, the less I'll be keeping for me.
Yep. It's real good. It's-
Mm-hmm.
ah, ah.
So obviously my notes here are this isn't going to be a song about capitalism in general, right?
Yeah. Yeah, agreed with a capital G. Yep.
Oh, is that what it is? Because I thought it was the G man, as in the man.
Yeah, it's I think it's a number of things that all sort of use that sort of exploitation to their own goals. So you can say it's
Mhm.
G for government or greed or G man or maybe a particular president that was in power whose middle name had a G in it. Like
Mhm.
there's a number of. We talked recently about one of the positives of Nine Inch Nails music and Trent being so cagey about the explanations for his lyrics is that you can kind of wrap it around your own experiences. This is very much, I'm singing about this specific type of evil. You can pick whatever of these 5 or 6 different types of evil that you really want to with this one.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, this is my 5 out of 5 song.
Yep.
This is where I have to possibly bring out Angry Boston.
Okay.
So let's have a quick little chat about NFTs
Oh boy.
because I might not have commented on it, but I still read your tweets,
Mm-hmm.
and I you didn't specifically call out the fact that it's a Nine Inch Nails. You didn't specifically call out who it was or what it was in
Sure.
regards to.
I don't like
But
people
you,
name searching on Twitter.
yes. So you mentioned that somebody is playing with the idea of doing an NFT, which listener, if you don't know what an NFT is, hopefully it's all blown over by now. By
Yeah,
the time
if
you're
you're
listening
in
to
the
this,
future, hopefully it's blown over. If not, Google it. There's a lot. We don't have 2 hours to explain why NFTs are
yeah,
bad.
there are people who can explain it better than we can and more
Mm-hmm.
succinctly. I'm guessing it's someone who does covers of Nine Inch Nails stuff because I couldn't see Trent doing an NFT.
Yeah, so my tweet was you don't get to make year zero and create an NFT to see how it feels. End quote. This is in reference to the longtime Nine Inch Nails art director at this time saying that he was going to start getting into NFTs and sort of those are two opposite things. NFTs
Yeah.
destroying the world through coal-based Ethereum mining in China.
Also, a prime example of capitalism at its peak.
Uh-huh. Literally,
Digital capitalism to make it even
right.
worse.
Literally what this album is about, which is very much like, hey, if we keep doing these things that are only making us money for no other material good, we're going to destroy the planet in
Uh-huh.
2022.
It's
So,
2021 and we're getting
right.
real close.
Yeah. So, yeah, you don't get to make year zero, like help create the concept behind year zero with Trent Reznor as a 2-person team and then say, I'm going to start making NFTs. I
Yeah.
usually don't like dating these episodes because usually these seasons should be evergreen, but that
No, it was too good of an opportunity because,
it's
like, no
it's
way did he
literally the
literally.
theme of the album that you're doing.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And the timing couldn't have been more perfect as well because,
No.
spoiler alert, we pre-record these.
Oh,
And it was like,
so grumpy
it
about
was
it.
like, I was like, literally, I was like, okay, I've seen this tweet. And the funny thing was, is I was literally listening to this song for the first time, reading Twitter when I
Mm.
saw that tweet. And I was like, okay, so the timing here
It's
couldn't have
literally
been more
happening right now.
perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Capital G is an incredible song. And it's one of those that like I feel like it's one of those singles that if you it hasn't gotten nearly enough credit as I think it should have. I think it should have been a way bigger song. And I think if anyone is interested in Nine Inch Nails, I think Capital G is one of those singles you can have them listen to, like Head Like a Hole, uh, Wish, Capital G, Closer. You know, it's like one of those big songs that you can put in a playlist and give to someone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Capital G is great.
Yeah.
Okay. Next song here, My Violent Heart.
So,
Uh-huh.
is this the point where the album flips? Because it feels like all the tracks up to this point where the perspective of the evil person, or this is evil and this is what's happening, and so on and so forth, in this
Right.
quote unquote fantasy version of Earth where people are being drugged. I'm just saying, America's the only country that puts fluoride in its water. I'm just saying
I
that this happens. And then this song feels
right.
like the start of the quote the resistance movement kind of
Right.
thing.
I will be entirely honest with you. I don't know because I hate this song.
Oh wow.
Flat out, this is one of my least favorite Nine Inch Nails songs of all time. It might be my second least favorite Nine Inch Nails track.
Have we done your least favorite?
We have not, and I won't ever talk about it because everyone gets really mad when I talk about it.
Is it closer?
It's
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 really
everybody's
closer, isn't it?
favorite. It's a cover. I'll leave that with someone. Um, I don't like the chorus, and I don't like the like klaxon sounding guitars and synths during the chorus. For some
Mm.
reason, the combination of both of those like makes me freak out a little bit. Like it's just like the this perfect storm of these two things. My brain is just like gotta go. And my brain just like opens up my skull and walks off. Like I can't do it, and I just don't. I don't think it's a good song at all.
I do. This is a 4 out of 5. I don't care what you say. This
Nice.
is a great song.
Well,
Um,
and so many people love it, and I get it. I can't listen to it.
I wonder if it's just like a specific trigger for you that those
Yeah,
two things combined you don't like. It's like
yeah,
if you combine nails on a chalkboard with the snapping of teeth, like I will run out of the room kind of thing.
yeah, exactly. There is a hidden image in this song, though. The sorry, the the leaked MP3 of this song had the hand, the presence. The one, if you're watching the video version, is over here on my right. There's an image of that in the song if you look it up. If you open it in a spectrometer, which is just really great. That's
People
a
are
four.
weird, man.
Yeah, that's a 4 out of 5 for you.
Yes.
Nice. Next song here, The Warning. Speaking of the presence, the hand themselves, what do you think about The Warning?
This had a very interlude kind of
Mm-hmm.
feeling where it was like a good, okay, take a breath, you know, let's slow down a second, let's take a breath, let's back up a little bit. Like it was a good little rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying to figure out if it was a literal definite, like it was talking about something literally coming from the sky,
Mm-hmm.
or oh hey, this is just a metaphorical, our death is coming from above because we're idiots kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's so. The interesting thing about this song is this was the first song written for Year Zero. This came out of the With Teeth writing sessions, and this was like the last thing he wrote, and it was very much like, oh, okay, this is something. Like I made something here. There's a like that bassy, staticky noise that's
Mhm.
in the background of the song, and that's one of the first things he wrote for this album. He's like, "Oh, that sound I made sounds bad. This sounds like bad things are coming." And then it kind
Mhm.
of started a excuse the phrase, sort of started a wildfire for writing this album. Um, yeah, the end of this song, "You've become a virus killing off this host," sort of that section, that's all in quotes. No matter what lyrics you're looking at, even the written ones in I think the vinyl version comes with lyrics. Um, so it's one of those things where you I think it is left up to your intention of, is this the presence, this ghostly hand that you see on the album cover and in some of the songs and in all the promotional stuff? Is that it coming to like grab onto the iron and flatten the planet to get rid of all the people that are killing it? Or is this very much
nice
like
reference.
Thank you. Or is this very much like our conscience saying, hey, we've gone too far and maybe we can't go back on whatever evil you can apply this album to?
Yeah, and you could also view it as Gaia / Mother Nature.
Absolutely. Yep.
Like this is, the host being the Earth, of course.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, like as Agent Smith says, humans are a disease.
Yeah.
We're a parasite.
Yep.
And it would make sense for Mother Nature to get her own back. Hi, climate change.
Hello. Yeah, like the last couple lines here in the song, we've heard her cry, we've come to intervene. You will change your ways and you will make amends or we'll wipe this place clean. And one of my favorite parts about this song and one of my favorite parts seeing this live is, that loud click noise at the end of that we will wipe this place clean part.
Mm-hmm.
When you're watching it live, there's this giant like arena spanning screen behind, and as he's singing those lines, he's raising his hands, and during that click he claps his hands together and the whole screen and the arena goes dark all at once. And it's like the turning point for this album, saying like, this stuff has come and we're in bad shape now. Like, we're sort of reaping what we've sowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the warning a lot. I agree with you. I think it's this almost like, not like an intro for the second half of the album, but almost kind of like things are changing and we're kind of migrating from whatever the first half is into whatever the second half is.
Mm-hmm.
What was your rating for the warning?
That was a 2 out of 5 because it was very... Like I said, it felt more like a kind of like an interlude, like an intermission kind of break song.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting how much I'm like, this is one of my favorite songs, and you're like, it's okay. Like I like that so many people can take so many different things from any of these songs where it's like, this is a 5 out of 5 track, and I'm just like, oh, okay, interesting. I like the different perspective here. This is why we're doing critical misses. Sort of get different perspectives here. Track number 10 here is God Given. What do you think about this one?
As a well-known atheist, we'll say here.
Right. Trent Reznor, yes.
Technically not. I'm not an atheist. I'm technically an agnostic. So for those of you who don't know what that means, please go look it up because there's a lot more of us out there than you think.
Also, like NFTs, we don't have a whole bunch of we don't have like 2 hours to be like, here's what it's all about.
Yeah, I can probably do it in 2 sentences. There is a higher power. Screw organized religion. There you go.
There you go. The Downward Spiral, 1994.
Colorized. You forgot colorized.
That's right.
Oh God, what's the nerds? Okay, so I really like this song, and when you're talking about it from the perspective of the previous songs, like, again, it's very rare you get an album that tells a story throughout.
Yeah,
this feels like the hyper-religious people being very denying what is happening, we'll say.
Right. Right.
Like, whether it's the...
Sort of having the blinders on.
Yeah, like,
right.
It doesn't matter what's going on, we'll be fine because we are children of God, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some lines in here that I wasn't too sure. Like, was there a reference in here to the color of someone's skin? Did I hear that right?
I'm afraid we're going to have to ask you to leave. Guess you cannot win with the color of your skin. You won't be getting into the promised land.
Yeah.
Which is very much like, ugh, yeah, man. Like, you're nailing it.
So without being able to phrase it better, very white church. And specifically the stupid evangelical like crowd, like
Mm-hmm.
the puritanical BS that you get over here in the States, and I'm sure you get it
Right.
in a lot of countries.
Sure, yeah.
Um,
But
but
we're sort of famous for it here.
yeah, it's kind of the whole reason your country was founded.
Right. Weird.
Hmm. Like it made me feel dirty, but also not at the same time. Like
Yeah. Yeah,
like
because it's so understandable from the concept of the album of like putting on the blinders and saying like, yeah, everything's bad, but the thing in
we'll
the
be
sky
fine.
is probably going to save us, right? And it's just like, nope,
Hmm.
here comes a ghost hand. Just like that's not. Wait, we didn't. The other thing from the sky, not that thing.
Yeah, like we are the divine separated from the swine. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
really, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
This,
people
by the
still
way,
don't know your place. Step outside. Step aside, out the way. Wipe that look off your face. It's just like, oh boy, you're just,
mhm.
you're just nailing that whole thing.
Yeah, I did make a note here that said, "Is Trent bringing sexy back?" Because it has a very similar sounding like
Yeah,
rhythm line to
yeah.
"Sexy
It
Back"
has a
Justin
good
Timberlake.
like. I think people always bristle when I say that Trent can write really great pop songs, and
Hmm.
this is a really good pop song. Just in the same way that Closer is. It's like you can still write lyrics that are challenging or they're filthy or whatever you want them to be, but still be kind of this really enjoyable poppy thing. And I think God Given is very much that thing. That's a
Yeah,
great song.
uh, it's
That's just a good song.
it really is. This is a 5 out of 5, by the way.
Wow, nice. All right.
We got a twofer in this album. A
Yeah, I like
twofer.
that we're finding some of these really deep cuts that you're enjoying here in the Nine Inch Nails catalog. Um, Next track here is Meet Your Master. Uh,
And counterpoint directly against the religious people being very denying, we have this song.
right, the Iron Fist coming down.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, but see, this is again, we talked about this, the different meanings that people can take from things. It's like, is Meet Your Master a reference to the giant hand in the sky? Is it a
Mm,
reference to you don't understand? Like, you might be this huge corporate slash religious entity, but when the planet says you're done, you're done.
right. As
Or
much as you
is
tighten
it,
that fist, like,
yeah,
yeah.
like it gives a very revolutionary vibes too, because for me this song was more about the the top, for lack of a better way to phrase this, the 1% is meeting their master, which is actually the
Mm,
99%,
right.
because you can't really do anything if you're one person against a billion.
Right. It's interesting that you have picked up on the sort of anti-authoritarian resistance threads that are pretty thin through this album, but they are definitely there because one of the parts of the ARG, the kind of lore around this concept album, was this group called Art is Resistance, and that was supposed to be us as the listeners, sort of taking off the blindfolds and using art in this kind of anti-authoritarian, subversive way. And I think that's sort of what we're seeing in this song. Is very much like this is what they're doing, and that's not great, whoever they are. But it can also be us if we're strong enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this track a lot, and I feel like this is one of the ones I always forget because I think the verses are really solid. It has a really cool delivery where he's sort of I don't even know how he delivers the lines, but and then the verse comes and there's the this is where Trent really starts doing a lot of the stuff that I am now 100% sick of. But during this, it was revolutionary, where he does a thing where there's like a super delay on his guitar, and he's strumming really fast, so it sounds like now it's a thing that he and Atticus Ross do in almost all their soundtracks, which is why I'm a little tired of it. But I think here the choruses are really strong, and it's really like there's something about the choruses and the guitar and how all of that stuff comes together that I'm just like, yeah, like you just made like a real great rock chorus here, just like a straightforward rock song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is a 4, by the way.
nice. Next track here, The Greater Good. What do you think about this one?
This one was kind of meh for me, to be
Okay.
honest. It, it very much a slow down song.
Yeah,
Which,
like a palate cleanser almost.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is weird because like we've got one of those later on in like 2 more songs. It was literally the first, second instrumental on the album. So,
Right. Right.
but yeah, I did like the music. I didn't give a crap about the lyrics. Like
There's like 7 words in this
6 of
song.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just repeated. Like this is probably one of the first instances of Trent making a song where the lyrics are broke up into sections. One of my favorite Nine Inch Nails songs in an album that we unfortunately won't cover on the slip is called Demon Seed. And there's like 6 or 7 sections in that song that are all kind of presented out of order, repeating and kind of layered on top of each other. And I feel like this was the genesis of that, where it's like I kind of have these ideas and I'm kind of chop them up and kind of present them interestingly with like a cool beat and cool piano work and some cool electronic work. But I'm with you. Like this is a fine song. It's almost 5 minutes. It feels 5 minutes long, not for better or for worse, but like it's one of those things where it's like you probably could have cut this off of the album and it would have been fine, but it being in here is also fine.
Yeah. See, I probably would have preferred it gone, to be honest, because it also feels out of place.
A little bit,
like,
yeah.
like, I think if you're gonna put this in, you stick this in much earlier when it feels like it's the quote unquote sheeple section of the song of the album where
Oh,
the
sure,
people
like the transition
doing
from
it.
like
So
first half to second half.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
this would have probably like if I obviously let me just do my quarterback, my armchair record producing here.
Right.
I would have probably put this one right in front of My Violent Heart because then you've got
Sure.
capital G, people accepting that, and then My Violent Heart feels like the flip to the start of the Resistance kind of movement.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, that'd be fun to put together a playlist where those are sort of flipped and see how that feels.
Mm-hmm.
What was your rating for this?
This was a 2.
Okay. I think that's fair. It's fine. It's a fine thing. Next track here, The Great Destroyer. I am very curious to hear what your thoughts are on this.
Oh. I'm torn on this song.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I really like there's an electronic insert right when he uses the word satellite, which I really enjoy. Like
Yep.
that's a really solid piece of like
It's
musical
almost
storytelling.
Yeah, it's almost like someone's like turning on a radio or like the satellite is tuning in on your location or something like that. It's a great sound.
Mm-hmm. Like it's really really good. And then it feels like it turns into a freestyle beatboxing section, except it's
Mm-hmm.
someone with a whatever that thing's called.
Three dudes with a moog. Like it's just it breaks down almost completely.
Yeah, like literally break it down, like
Yep.
as in someone yells that, and then everybody does their freestyling in the middle of the song. It's just like,
Yep.
I don't like this. I don't like it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like so much before that, and then that happens. And I'm just like, no, just
So like the first half is where you're at, and the second half you just like
yeah,
next track.
pretty much yes. If
Yep.
I'm completely honest, it was a case of how much of this like. Literally, it feels like beatboxing industrial songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what it
Yeah.
feels like.
This is
You love this song, don't you?
100%. There's nothing wrong with this song at all. It's 100% my jam. It is easily in like my top 3 Nine Inch Nails tracks of all time. Like this is I think I like it because it is. If anyone has listened to more recent Nine Inch Nails stuff, I like the background world, which is like a 14-minute long track, nearly for the exact same reasons I like this here. The first half of the song is incredible. Like, I think so much of it is really interesting. Like the "with their shiny satellites" line, like you said, like has that really cool, like almost static, like digital static in the background. I love the verses. I love how he sings everything in the verses. I love the "I am the great destroyer," where there's like three or four of him harmonizing this like anxiety laden build up into just dropping into some of the heaviest bass I have heard this man make. 100% understand why you don't like the second half of this. That is like probably one of the most divisive things I have heard this guy make. Also, every time I have seen a fight break out at a Nine Inch Nails song, it is because of the second half of The Great Destroyer, where it is. They usually are playing the end of this a little bit more freestyle, but it's usually taking terrible quotes from US presidents and underlaying them underneath and with anti-war imagery. So I live in an area with a lot of Marines. They don't like that. There have been a lot of fights. So that's always interesting. But I there's something about the second half that I like, that there's all this noise, but there's like that repetition of the boom boom bass that kind of for me grounds the freestyle part, and kind of there's all this noise on top of it, but there's this kind of syncopated repetition that I really dig. Yeah. Great Destroyer is great. Very curious to hear what your rating is.
My rating for El Great Destroyer is 3 out of 5. It would have been a 4 or a 5 if it wasn't for the freestyle beatboxing section.
Yeah, so like first half, 5 out of 5, hot jams. Second half, take 2 points off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Track 14, another version of The Truth. This is an instrumental track lasting about 4 minutes here. What do you think about this one?
I thought this one was okay. Honestly, it feels very forgettable. Like, I can't actually sit here and in my head remember anything about it that sticks out to me.
I can remember the other like instrumental-ish song, like that little xylophone in the background. I can remember that. Mm-hmm. This one, I never remember.
I listened to it like 3 times and it's gone from my head already. And one of those times I listened to it was this morning.
Right. Just before this very show. Yeah. I agree with you. It's good. It's a cool like mood piece. Do I even have notes on this? I say a solid transition to the end of album and a nice breather after the last song. Like, it is a kind of nice. Great Destroyer fades out as this fades in, and it kind of, you get to take a breath out after the kind of the chaos there. But I don't remember any of it.
Nope.
Yeah. What was your rating for this one?
This one was literally 0 out of 5 because I can't remember a thing about it.
Fair. Yeah. Another one where it's like, you could probably cut on a 16-track album.
I'm not saying it's a bad instrumental. No. I'm just saying I don't feel comfortable giving it a score because it's literally in one ear and out the other.
Right. All right, we're almost done with the album here. In This Twilight, track number 15. What do you think about this one?
This feels like a song about the end of the world.
Yeah.
Death.
Yeah. The final bits.
Yeah. One day if you look at the sun and it happens to burn a little brighter, you just know that we've been successful in our mission.
Right. Right.
That's a movie reference that I'm not even sure that Boston would get because that's a super deep cut.
Yeah, I don't know that one, but it applies here.
We need to watch that movie.
Yeah.
Whatever. You must have seen it. But yeah, it feels like I said, I'm not sure if it's about specifically one death or all death, as in
right. The death of the
no
planet.
more, like bye bye everybody kind
right.
of.
Right.
It's a good song. Like this is actually the song I was talking about when I said that the vocals feel more upfront. In this
Yes.
song, 100% it feels like the vocals are first and foremost, and then everything else is further back, which is
Yeah.
kind of inverse of what Trent normally does, where the vocals sit way back, and then the rest of the song is at the front. It's like
It's a more traditional mix. Yeah.
It's really good, but
Yeah,
really weird.
I really like it. I think it has a lot of the like the industrial stuff in the background during the verses that I think is Nine Inch Nails is sort of famous for, or infamous, however you feel about the band. And I think the choruses weirdly enough feel kind of like a straight rock chorus. His delivery I think is really interesting. But I it's this weird song that it's like, all right, here's our first like kind of slower straight rock song, track 15 of 16. You know, it's like it's a real weird placement. This song is especially notable too, though. Like 99.9% of Nine Inch Nails shows end with "Hurt" as the very last song of every encore. During this tour, it ended with this song, and as soon as
it's appropriate.
Well, even more interesting, at the end of this, like once the song is over, they start playing essentially the beginning of the next track, but one by one, each band member like puts down their instruments, wave, and go off the stage until it's just Trent with like a piano, and then once he hits like the final note, all the lights go down, and like the band is gone. And it was one of these moments where it's like, because he had been talking for a while, where it's like, yeah, I'm done with Nine Inch Nails. You'll see, I promise. And that was the end of it. Is just like, no, he's gone. Like he left. He's done. Obviously not anymore. But yeah. What was your rating for that one?
Because he went off and found more creative outlets like soundtracks and things like that.
He like got married, and started a family. Like he was busy with other stuff.
This is a 4 out of 5.
Nice.
I really like this song.
And last track here, Zero Sum, also known as the Fringe song. If anyone has seen Fringe,
wait, what? Hold on, hold the F on. What?
So there's a version of this song created specifically for Fringe that has one of the glyphs from Fringe in it, another spectrograph thing, but it's also Trent reading passages that have appeared in the show over the background, like the background instrumentation from the song. You should go look it up on YouTube. It's really good. You'd like it. But anyways, yes, the Fringe song. What did you think about Zero Sum?
I love that show. I have never heard this song.
Yep. It's very good.
The show or the song? Because
both.
I mean, come on. Yeah. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. If we wanted to do a year of Fringe as
oh man, don't even get me started. Sign it up. Season 8, let's go. Yeah,
it would literally take a year though.
100%. Yeah.
Might take more than that. One season might take a year.
Probably. Yeah.
22 episodes. So
yeah, that would take us 44 weeks. Yeah. Yep. Boy,
it's a bad idea. We should not even talk about that.
No, it's a bad idea. Yeah.
I like this. I especially like the piano in this song.
Yeah.
Like that piano repetition is really, really good. Sorry, I'm still blown away by the fact that this was used for Fringe, which is like one of my favorite TV shows of all time. It's like, you want to get me on a soapbox? Let's talk about Fringe, or let's talk about Stargate, specifically Stargate Universe.
Right.
Like, let's go. What kind of thing? This song actually reminds me of a play.
Okay.
Let me explain my logic here, as I have to do because my brain works differently than everybody else's.
Mm-hmm.
So the way the chorus and the verse is delivered, it feels like a traditional stage play that has, again, English is a weird language, an actual chorus.
Yes,
Like the
absolutely.
chorus of people
Yep.
who, like, where you have the lines delivered by the actor on stage, and then the chorus is delivering you essentially the morality aspect of it, like
Yes.
the decisions that have been made, that this is how you should be feeling because this is what we're telling you to feel. We are the chorus kind of thing.
Right.
This song very much feels like that, where it's like actor, chorus, actor, chorus,
That's a
actor,
great point.
chorus.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Chorus being
especially in the
double
the
meaning.
the chorus part sounding like it's delivered by a chorus.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I really like this song too.
Yeah, I like the last couple lines here in the chorus just kill me every time. Shame on us for all we've done and all we ever were just zeros and ones. And like the delivery of just zeros and ones is like so defeated. It's like almost positive, but just kind of like we almost made it and then we didn't, and it just like rips my heart out every time. Like I just one of there are very few Nine Inch Nails songs that haven't been ever played live. This has never ever been played live in any form or fashion, and that breaks my heart because I think this would be such an incredible song to see
Mhm.
live, especially with like a really giant crowd. I don't know if this is like a beloved song in the Nine Inch Nails fandom, but I, I love this song a lot. This
Yeah,
is such a great finish for this album.
it's a great song.
Yeah,
This is a it was like so close to a 5, but it's a 4 out of 5. I might
yeah,
should I give it a 5 just because it's associated with Fringe? Do you think?
yeah. Like the Fringe version, 6 out of 5. That's for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
11 out
uh,
of 14.
that's right. That's right. Okay, that's year zero. Let's. What are your thoughts of year zero, kind of as an entirety?
Honestly, as an album, this is probably the best overall album so far.
Okay,
I don't think it has the best songs, but it's probably the most I've enjoyed the album, or as a as a whole piece of media. The album itself, I think,
as a work.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's better than the other ones. But obviously, I think the other ones have got singular or several tracks that stand out like above and beyond pretty much anything on there.
right. This definitely isn't like a singles album where it's like, oh man, this album did so well. We put out 5 or 6 of these tracks. It's like, no, you're not. God
Hmm.
Given isn't going to be on the radio. Like, you know, like,
Yeah, probably not.
yeah,
And if it is, it'll just be to demonize it.
that's true. That's true. Um, yeah,
I mean, how about you? Where does this sit for you?
this is pretty high. I think to me this is such a great example of if you take the like the 3 albums we've covered, we're only really covering tentpole releases here. If you look at the last couple we've covered with the Fragile and With Teeth and Year Zero, they are all so markedly different from each other that even from 2 years prior when With Teeth came out, that's just like, all right, here's a rock album. Like this is 9/10 of this is just straight up rock songs, and this is much more experimental, much more industrial, but not something that's in your face like Broken or a Downward Spiral where it's like it's a punch to the face. This is really he had this cohesive idea that all kind of feels like it came together and it fits together super super well. And I think I agree with you that I think it's hard to pick out super high points from this album. There's a couple tracks that I think both you and I really like Capital G, Survivalism, stuff like that, where they're real sort of out of context high points. But I think
Mhm.
as like you said, as like a cohesive work, I think it's really really strong. It has a super clear idea. It has a super clear soundscape that it's going for, and it nails it from front to back. And I think it's really great. It's one of my favorite. If I had to rank albums out of like the 43 or however many there are now, this would be really high on my list, just as like a cohesive album. I think Year Zero is great. Yeah. Okay, we have one album left, but let's talk about our homework here. There is a remix album for this called Year Zero Remix, which features the longest Nine Inch Nails track at like 14 and a half minutes, which is insane. Year Zero Remixed is weird. I was gonna say I can't recommend it. I feel like unless you're like a super fan, I would 100% give it a skip. It's very experimental and it's all over the place, and it's very odd. The one I will highly recommend though is Ghosts 1 through 4. It's a double album, all instrumental stuff. If you want to hear some tracks that got reworked in the Social Network soundtrack, this is it. This is very much the direct line between I want to make an instrumental album, like I got all this stuff I'm working on, and then whoops, now I'm making soundtracks. So you can listen to that. And Halo 27 here breaks my heart that we're not going to have enough time to talk about this. The Slip, it's a 10-track album released for free, just out of nowhere one day, which is kind of the expectation with Nine Inch Nails. It's like, hey, we have a new album. Go to nion.com and you just download it just for free. You don't have to give us anything. They actually just a year ago they released 2 albums like that on the website for free, and they're like, you don't even have to give us your email address or anything. Just click this download button. There you go. MP3s. Let's go crazy.
That's nice.
I like The Slip a lot. I think if you like Year Zero, it came out the year after that, and it feels like kind of the natural extension of that album. I think the second track there, 1 Million, is especially really good. That's your homework in between. Next time we will talk about, to sort of close the loop on this entire thing, we'll talk about the other side of the downward spiral. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.